Today, we're going to discuss Steph Curry and Seth Curry. We're going to discuss how they're treated significantly different on the basketball court, why that is, and whether it should be the case or not. So I'm going to make the case that Seth Curry and his role on the basketball court shows a lack of understanding among high-level NBA basketball teams and basketball coaches from there. So the first thing let's look at is Steph Curry's 2-point percentage, 3-point percentage, and their assist-to-turnover ratio. So the 3-point percentage, 42.8% for his career, obviously fantastic. 2-point percentage, 52.4%, very good for a point guard. And then assist-to-turnover, he has 6.5 to 3.1, so almost double the assists that he has turnovers. Now let's look at Seth Curry just for comparison. So Seth Curry, 3-point percentage is 43.5%. So notice that was higher than Steph's. Let's look at Seth's 2-point percentage, 51.6, so that's slightly lower. And assisted turnover, he has 2.1 to 1.1, so not quite double, so maybe a slightly lower percentage than what Steph has. The overarching point that this is trying to make is that Steph and Seth are not that big or not that largely different of players, and that for the most part, the difference in why one is an MVP and the other is relegated to like a role player is the systems and styles they're in. So then drives. This is the biggest area that like maybe you could argue that like Steph has a greater ability here than Seth does. So Steph is obviously makes some great drives because of the respect he's given. They have to treat him on the three-point line so he can get a little first step. Seth is a little bit different because he doesn't start with the ball in his hands very often, but he's still able to make these contested drives. He just doesn't have as many of them. So then, let's look at actual examples from this year. First, looking at Steph, is we notice that he just starts with the ball in the first motion, and he's able to create opportunities because players have to respect his gravity. They have to respect his shooting. You have to come out on him. Not only this, but obviously he's a key part of their offense. Even when he doesn't have the ball, he's cutting, he's moving, he's putting stress on the defense in that way. We can see that this creates a lot of open looks, not just for him, but for his teammates. And I think that even if he doesn't get assists for those, he is still a crucial part of those. So then we switch to Seth, and we see in the first round game, he didn't even start, which is just like, can you imagine a world where Steph Curry didn't start, and instead his brother, who's shooting more efficient as a three-point shooter, didn't start in his first round game? Like, it's just kind of wild. And so we look at the offense of the Brooklyn Nets, we can see that Seth is essentially relegated to someone that stretches the court in the opposite direction. Like your typical, like really good shooter that doesn't handle the ball super well. Even though like he does drive pretty well when given the opportunity, but his main role is opposite side 3-point shooter that allows the offense to function better. And so what I think this is more representative of is the fact that a lot of teams don't think in the same way as the Warriors. Like the Warriors view Steph as like, he is this immense pressure that you have to guard out in space. So why not give him the ball, this thing that is literally the only way you can score to make the defense feel that pressure even more. And a lot of teams just do not think that way. They just like, oh, let's keep him as a passing option because he's not that good of a ball handler. And I think that is definitely the wrong way to approach it. So then real quick, I just did just a random, I was curious. There were 36 players that shot above 40% from three last year. 5 of them shot more than 500 threes. 2 of them were on the Golden State Warriors, Steph and Clay. The other 2, or 2 of the other ones, were on the Sacramento Kings, coached by Mike Brown, who came from Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors. So they have similar philosophies. And then finally, the last one is Buddy Hield. This shows the difference in mentality between, I'll say, Steve Kerr's coaching tree and the whole rest of the NBA. And it's why I believe that Golden State has had somewhat of an edge these last few years, because they understand gravity and they understand using spacing and the three-point threat to create better offense for themselves.
It was a lot of fun just seeing you, how you've grown, and following your career. It's not easy having an older brother that's playing in the NBA, and obviously a dad that's done it before both of us. And the way that you're handling it is impressive. And the sky's the limit for you. Keep doing what you're doing, and you keep making the family proud.
A wonderful tribute to Seth, and have a great rest of your day.